Good afternoon, everybody. This is Brian, my little partner here, Michael. Today what we're going to do a different video on something else I wanted to talk about. We'll have to get to that. But we came out here a little bit before dinner time. We noticed that the cauliflower and some other things were ready to harvest, which we've already harvested some, and there's some more ready to harvest. So we're going to harvest that. But just so you know, there's probably going to be a lot of traffic in the background. As you can see, I've got a bus barn literally right across the street. There's a middle school over there, and there's a main road right here. So our little place is right smack dab in the middle of Yelm, up in upstate Washington. So Michael's going to be my little camera person as I walk through the garden and show you what we got. So as you can see from the outside, we kind of like to utilize whatever we can. A lot of this wood and metal we have got off of salvage. People put it up for Facebook for free, things of that nature. As you can see, we also like to use buckets. I clean them out extremely well. We let them dry out for quite a while, and then we utilize them, put some holes in the bottom of it. Also, we reuse older buckets that we've gotten from previous things. We also just whatever we can do to make it go. These are our peas right here. As you can see, Michael likes to take these and he'll train them to climb up the fence over there. And he just takes his time, he goes slow, he looks at little hoops around there, and eventually it just climbs all the way up the fence line and just starts popping little pea pods like what he's pointing at right there. And the same with this one over here.
Are these two finished?
Not yet. Let's give them a couple more days.
This one looks finished.
Alright. Then over here, Michael's going to show you our strawberry plants. They've been in the ground for a while. They got a little bleached from the sun, but they're still producing strawberries slowly. We got one coming in right over here. In the same spot in this bed, we got different types of zucchinis and squash growing along the trellis right here in the middle. And on the other side, we got a whole bunch of lettuce. This hog fence was from a project we had done back in the last place we were at, and we just carried it over with us. Over here, where Michael's at, we had, what do we have over here?
Radishes.
Yeah, we had big white radishes. We just harvested those, and we got probably about 5-10 pounds of those. So we planted a bunch of carrots, as he's showing you there. In the middle, there's cucumbers, and then pumpkins that are growing out, as well as radishes, which we'll just go over to the other side, Michael. It's our farm dog. Miniature farm dog, right? And over on this side, to try and use up as much bed space as we can, because we're going to have these climb up this trellis, as you can see. Just going to tie them up a little bit. We planted radishes, more red radishes. This is asparagus that we're kind of working with. Planted it last year. It takes 2 years to actually grow to harvest. We didn't realize that. It kind of bolted to seed, and we kind of let it go just because we're experimenting with it. We have no clue how to grow asparagus or what to do. So this is us learning as we go. Over here, this dead space right here, we had a bunch of broccoli. We harvested that. We've ate it. We got more growing in another bed. I'll show you that. That's why we came out here to harvest.
Onions are, this side is onions, that side is carrots.
Corn.
Corn.
So we planted some onions and we planted some corn. I know the rule of thumb is knee-high by July, but like I said, up here in upstate Washington, we had a frost, a really late frost. And a lot of our stuff actually died off. And luckily what we were doing was growing some indoors, and we were able to produce. And yes, we did have to run to the store and get some other stuff. But I'll show you how I reuse stuff in a later video that we get from the store to re-go for the next following seasons. And we got eggplants. We got purple Japanese eggplants and then some white.
There's some eggplants over here too.
Yep. They're coming in quite nicely. It looks like we need to trim up. Then we got all different types of bell peppers and peppers. As you can see, we got some coming in pretty nicely. But this year, because of the frost and I don't know what is really happening, they're staying very stunted. They're staying very short. But we're figuring it out. We got some chives and some herbs, some basil coming in real nice. I really like these chives and basils because we'll just come in and we do what's called cut and come again. And when we need stuff, we just trim it off and then we come back. I mean, we've hit this chive plant up. As you can see, some are shorter, some are taller, quite a bit.
Here you can see.
And we'll just cut off what we need, take it in, dry it, use it, and go. We got a bunch of little tomatoes. Normally, I don't use these tomato trellises like this, these little cages. I'm not a big fan of them. We usually make them out of fence, and I still have some, and I can show you those later. But the kids decided they wanted to use these this year. It was part of my Father's Day present. So, you know, just go with it and put them in. The reason why I don't like to use them is because they like to break, as you can see. And for the price they usually spend on them. And another thing is, the way I do my garden beds, I do hubiculture. And when you go to put these in the ground, as you can see, it's hard to get them all the way in because of the way hubiculture is. If you've never used hubiculture for your raised beds, I highly recommend hubiculture if you can, especially in a state like this. Over here is our greens. As you can see, they have flourished in the upstate in the cold like they always do. All different types of lettuce and cabbage. And like I said, we like to do with what's called the cut and come again method. And we'll just take off the top of the lettuce, you know, everything. And as you can see, traffic. Cut off what you want, what you need, and what you're going to use. And then you come back again, just like how he's doing right there.
Or the guinea pigs.
And it'll keep growing. We do that with the cauliflower. The kale. We just cut it off, and as you can see, it'll start growing again. He's going to cut off a few. Alright, that's good, Bubba. And then over here, we have our broccoli and our cauliflower. We planted potatoes here. Last year, we planted potatoes in there.
Yeah.
They didn't come in at all. Then this year, all of a sudden, yeah, they started coming in, right? So, but here's why we're out here tonight. Is
because
the cauliflowers.
Big heads. This guy's huge.
Yeah. We got some cauliflowers out here. I can palm a basketball pretty easy. And that's my hand. So there, that's one.
This is as big as my hand.
That's two. We got one over here. That's three.
That's a little too.
Put your hand down there.
That's a little too big for my hand.
There you go. And we just harvested, as you can see, some over here.
That broccoli's fine right there.
Yeah. Now, you might be asking, you know, your broccoli bolted. You're not eating it. What are you going to do with it?
You feed the flowers to our rabbits.
So we feed it to the rabbits, right? So what we do, you know, you can actually eat these little yellow flowers. They're not too bad. They're actually pretty tasty. I put them on a salad. They're not bad. But the bees, the pollinators, the birds, they love them. Also, we like to trim them up, and we take them and we give them to our rabbits and to our guinea pigs. So there's no point in just cutting it all and getting rid of it when we can still use it. And the leaves as well, you know, we still use the leaves. We eat the leaves, take the broccoli leaves. I actually like to take the broccoli and the cauliflower leaves and put them on my hamburgers. Gives a little bit more of a spice. That's just me. I'm a little weird as it is anyways. But our little garden here is literally 40 by 40 square feet. And then we got beans that are coming in. Wax beans and then bush beans. Our little garden here is 40 by 40 feet that we literally built everything. The fence, we had to put the fence in ourselves. So we have a little privacy from the road, because there's literally from that wall right there, there's a sidewalk that separates that wall from a road. And it goes right next to our chicken coop, which we'll do a video on that one. But as you can see, there's a fence that separates them, because in the winter time, what we do, if we're not harvesting any cold crops throughout the winter, if everything's gone, we take that fence down, and then the chickens can come all through here, and they can tear it up and fertilize it. And that's why we keep the grass. A lot of people, they do gardens like this, and what they do is they put rock or a lot of mulch and everything. We keep the grass because that's part of the garden in my eyes. And when the chickens come over here, they can do their thing. But this is our little garden that me and Michael have been putting all of our time into.